to the Punt and Pass podcast. I'm your host, Drew Butler, joined alongside by my co-host, Jake Fromm. Be sure to follow us on social media. We are at Punt and Pass on X and Instagram. I'm at Drew Butler. He's at From Jake. Puntandpass.com, the #1 destination for all things college football. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. YouTube is just firing off right now. The best YouTube performance we've had in the history of Punt and Pass. We appreciate everybody checking out the YouTube channel. You can find us at Punt and Pass on YouTube. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Punt and Pass listeners out there, to you, your friends, and your family. I think it's the best week of the year. We've got so much to dive into on this awesome episode of Punt and Pass. Hopefully this week is filled with family, friends, food, football, some cocktails, tailgating, whatever you got going on. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my man, Jake Fromm.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving as well, man. It's awesome that we get to this time of the year. I mean, football is kind of wrapping up. It's bittersweet, but also, the playoffs are going to be so much longer, and there's a lot of football ahead of us. The only concern that I have is that I am already overweight heading into Thanksgiving, and the meal hasn't even happened yet. I'm going to be 250 pounds before this is all said and done with. I have to find a way to get some exercise with our new kid, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm putting on the dad bod real fast.
Look, I didn't even think about the newborn baby. I mean, you're in for a long holiday season. I mean, I was with you yesterday. You're a big, strapping young man. You told me you're 27 years old. You're 9 years younger than me. What are you at? 235? I mean, you're built like you're very solid. I'll give you that much. What do you weigh for real?
Thanks.
I'll tell you how much I weigh afterwards.
Yeah.
I guess 235.
Well, my playing weight is between 220 and 225. If we're getting very specific, real playing weight is between 218.
I don't want your playing weight. I want what you weigh right now. You're not playing right now.
Where am I at right now? Well, this evening when I got on the scale, I was 229.
Oh, okay. You're fine. You got
all right. So that means the way my body works, I'll probably be like 226 first thing in the morning, which is, I fluctuate pretty good, but so I'm not that bad, but I don't know, man. I swear I'm like one good meal and a couple of desserts, and I know I can see 235 real quick.
Oh, yeah. I'm not far behind you. I fluctuate between like 222 and 217. Like Monday morning, I'll be 222 after a big weekend. Friday, if I keep it clean, I'm about 217. So no telling where this bod's going to go this weekend, but man, no calories count this week. I can promise you that much. It's going to be an awesome week. We got so much to talk about. Of course, it's rivalry week. It's hate week. We've got some action in Georgia high school football we're going to get to as well. Lane Kiffin has a pending decision on Saturday, they're saying, and a bunch of great college football games. That's all coming up on this episode of Punt and Pass. Hey, this episode of Punt and Pass is presented to you by our awesome partners over at PrizePicks. It is the best time to get on PrizePicks. I'm not just saying that. I promise you I'm not just saying that. PrizePicks is the #1 fantasy sports app in the world. Go check it out on the App Store. They're way up there, and it's for a reason. They just added some new features that makes it even better. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code PUNT. When you play your first $5 entry, you get $50 instantly in your account, win or lose. Now you can do team picks. Now you can do culture picks. They have it all. You can even do early payouts now. PrizePicks is the best. Free-to-play contests this weekend as well. Make your Thanksgiving better. You don't want to be around your family the whole time. You want to head downstairs. You want to crack a cold beer. You want to watch the 1 o'clock game, Lions-Packers. That's what you want to do. I'm giving you permission to do that. Fire up the PrizePicks app. Follow me on social media. I will be giving out picks because that is what I will be doing on Thanksgiving Day. PrizePicks is the best. Download the PrizePicks app. Promo code PUNT. First $5 entry, you get $50 instantly. Tell a family member. Tell a friend. Today's episode of Punt and Pass is brought to you by Humberto Injury Law. If you've been hurt in an accident and need a team that fights for you like we fight on the field, Humberto Injury Law is here for you. Humberto and his team know what it takes to win, and they'll stand by your side every step of the way. Visit HumbertoInjuryLaw.com to learn more or call them 24/7 at 770-888-8901. 770-888-8901. Humberto Injury Law is the #1 personal injury attorney and workers' comp attorney in the city of Atlanta. They're located in Atlanta. They've won for me. They can win for you. HumbertoInjuryLaw.com. Shout out to mi amigo, Humberto. Real quick, what did we do yesterday? We went to True Spec Golf in Atlanta.
Yeah, we did.
Shout out to the team at Mira Golf. I watched Jake Fromm just pound 6 irons, dial in his wedges. You got a little Christmas gift coming to you. I think we might have a promo code coming down the pipe as well. If people need some Christmas gifts, holler at us on social media because Mira Golf is doing it big this holiday.
Yeah, this is something I'm super excited about. I was actually in a very big need of a new set of irons and wedges. Man, this is awesome. I'm actually very, very sore from yesterday. I mentioned that to you before we started the show. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but man, I definitely think I got dialed in, man. Those wedges are sweet.
Yes.
The irons are awesome, feel great. And so I don't know, man. I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to beat you, Drew, but I know I have a fighting chance now.
No, I don't know. No, you're a good golfer. We'll have some fun. Shout out to Mira Golf. All right, the Dogs are gearing up for clean old-fashioned hate versus Georgia Tech at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta this Friday. Georgia, a 13.5-point favorite. Watch out. Plenty of storylines in this one, Jake. A bit of luster lost on this game after Georgia Tech fell to Pittsburgh last Saturday night. Some of the storylines: Haynes King versus Gunner Stockton, 2 elite quarterbacks. Last year's 8 overtime battle in which the Dogs fought from behind and came out victorious. Brent Key, Georgia Tech's head coach, looking for his first win over Georgia. And you know what? A few weeks ago, this looked like Georgia Tech's best chance in a long time to knock off the Dogs. But Jake, maybe that was actually last year. The Yellow Jackets have been fading over the last 3 to 4 weeks. The defense is suspect. A lot to talk about heading in to this game. For me, an Atlanta kid, this is it for me. Georgia Tech is the enemy. Put Florida to the side, put Auburn to the side, put Tennessee to the side. I do not care. Georgia Tech is numero uno when it comes to rivals for me as a Georgia alum, without question. What say you?
Yeah, I don't want to downplay your feelings or the magnitude of this game by any means. But from my perspective, where I grew up, Warner Robins, Middle South Georgia, I just felt like I ran into a lot more Florida fans. There was a lot more banter back and forth between, Florida fans, Auburn, mixing in Alabama here and there. Tech just didn't really. Actually, I take that back. My neighbor I grew up with was a big Tech fan. Anytime we played NCAA football against each other, he'd always pick Tech. I'm like, why are you picking Tech? You have no chance. Correct. When you pick Georgia Tech, just like I think Georgia Tech has no chance to win the game on Saturday. So
no chance, says
Jake. And also for me, I want to keep kind of rolling on this thing I'm rolling on. When I played Georgia Tech, the games just weren't very competitive. Yeah, in the nicest way I can say it.
No, you're exactly right. Well, obviously, Kirby Smart, the head coach of Georgia, he takes the press conference podium on Monday. He's got to kind of set the stage for the game, coming off of last year's 8 overtime battle, as I just mentioned, discussing Georgia Tech and how they've had a really good season up to this point. And, of course, under the leadership of Brent Key. Here is how Kirby set the stage for Friday's upcoming in-state rivalry before Georgia and Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech week, a lot of respect for Brent, their program. He's done a tremendous job there. They're extremely physical. You can tell they're modeled kind of after what he believes in, which is running the ball and stopping the run. The quarterback's playing at an elite level. Just a lot of respect for the way they play the game. And we got a short week, so we got a quick turn here to get ready for these guys and obviously play in Mercedes-Benz on Friday.
Coach speak, coach speak, coach speak. Of course, you know what I would love just once? If a coach took the podium on a Monday, is like, you know what? I don't really respect the style of football they play. I do not think that they really come prepared. They're not a very good football team. But, of course, Kirby Smart would never do that. I think what he's saying is very true as well. I've been saying it week after week on this podcast. Like, it is a different style of football that Georgia Tech has been playing this year. For whatever reason, the defense has just vanished from wanting to show up on Saturdays. It really bit them hard last week when they were down 28-0 in the blink of an eye against Pittsburgh. But this game, Jake, is going to be marked by toughness. It's going to be marked by in the trenches. It's probably going to be a rock fight. Haynes King, if they have any chance, Georgia Tech, is going to have to be an absolute baller, which he is totally capable of. This was actually a really interesting question in Monday's press conference. Kirby Smart was asked about how he evaluates toughness, because he talks about toughness week after week after week. We want our players to be tough. We want our players to go through hard times. It's exactly how they develop into the type of athletes that we want. Here's Kirby Smart talking about how he evaluates toughness.
Yeah, Coach, we talk a lot about toughness. How do you guys evaluate that when you're, recruiting kids or taking kids out of the port? How do you evaluate toughness? How do you get a tangible, evaluation on that?
Well, talk to people you trust. Whether it's a high school coach, somebody that's been in their lives, somebody that's maybe coached them. Toughness is not talked about. It's earned, and that usually by who they played for, who they played with, or you just talk to people. Best source of information you can get is talking to somebody.
I think he's spot on, Jake. Talking to high school coaches as well, some family members, some people who are around these kids, like understanding their backgrounds, what they've been through, how do they respond to adversity. That's really how you get an initial gauge on the toughness. And then once they get into the program, it really gets ratcheted up to an entirely different level.
Yeah, but you definitely want to get someone who's kind of, been through the fire a little bit, who's been tested, what they're made out of, or they made of the right stuff. Because whenever you finally get them on campus and in their program, man, you're going to send them through a very, very grueling process, right? The winter workouts, the winter runs are just awful. They're all about seeing how tough you are and getting you to invest in the program. And by the time you make it through the spring and through the summer, you're like, man, I've already put so much into this. Why on earth would I give up now, right? In week 10, this is the easy part of the season. So, man, toughness is a very tough thing to gauge, and it's all about who you trust and word them out there in that situation.
Yeah, let me tell you who is tough. Haynes King. This kid, he is like the definition.
You can see that one through the tape. You don't have to ask anybody about that one. You can see that one through the tape.
No, he is, man. Georgia's a really tough team as well, and it's unfortunate Tech lost that game last week, but they are going to bring the juice on Friday. There's no question. This is their entire season. Brent Key was asked about, how does last year's game play into this year's game? And he gave a coach speak answer, which, again, I don't disagree with. But he's like, look, this is a different football team. A lot of guys who were on that team are no longer here. It did not go the way we wanted to. We don't think about it that often. This is a brand new matchup coming up on Friday. So I think Tech is going to bring their best. There's no question about that. Georgia, though, an 13.5-point favorite. That is kind of crazy to me. It's a lot of points. We'll see what happens. Hey, Chris Cole was asked about the Georgia Tech rivalry as an out-of-state player. Great perspective. What does this mean to you? You're not from the state of Georgia. I thought he gave a pretty good answer. Let's hear from Chris Cole.
Referred to as clean old-fashioned hate. Is it a hatred with the Jackets? Is it respect? And being from out of state, when did you that first taste of the rivalry with Coach Smart? That it feels different. He knows how important this is to the head coach.
Yeah, from being out of state, last year I wasn't really sure about it, but now I definitely am. Most of our coaches, they actually played in the game, so it's nothing new to them. So this week, our coaches are just going to prepare us to have a physical game.
He's right, man. A lot of coaches on both sidelines have played in this game. They know what it means. In the late 90s, early 2000s, early 2010s, that's when this game was super chippy, back before the college football playoff era. It's been a while since Georgia Tech has knocked off Georgia, but in both of those locker rooms, Jake, the message is being sent from the coaches, just what this game means, not only to the players, but to the fans, to the alumni, to both institutions. It's really one that you have to be a part of to understand just the magnitude of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like, on Georgia's side, I don't know, man, there's a lot that is expected right? A lot to keep up with, and man, not wanting to lose the bragging rights and lose basically your stamp on the state, and Tech kind of wanting every opportunity to take it away from Big Brother, right, and to ruin the season that Georgia's been working on here. And man, coming off of this loss versus Pittsburgh, I think they have a very sour taste in their mouth. And this is a great opportunity for them to hit Big Brother in the mouth, to get that bad taste out of their mouth. And man, I don't know, like, are they a good football team? Yeah, they're a good football team. Are they not as hot as they were early in the season? Yeah, they're not the team they were in weeks maybe 3 through 6, but
yeah,
man, it's still a good football team. And they have Haynes King, they have Brent Key, they have Buster Faulkner. Something that I found earlier, going through some stuff, Georgia Tech has the 5th ranked offense in the country.
I know, they cook.
In the country, man. Like, that speaks volumes about what Buster Faulkner's doing, speaks volumes about obviously Haynes King, and we can keep talking about these two ad nauseum, but man, they're good and they're the real deal, and they can put up a lot of points on you in a hurry.
Yes, they definitely can. Georgia needs to make sure that their defense is tight. I'm going to ask you about how to defend Haynes King. We talked about it a little bit on Monday. But, man, you know you're going to get a heavy dose of number 10 if you're on Georgia's defense. And if Tech has any chance, he's going to have to perform at a high level. This game is inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Kind of interesting. I mean, if it was inside Bobby Dodd, the weather on Friday here looks to be in the high 40s, so it's going to be a chilly one. However, no environment inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Georgia has had some pretty good success in that stadium as of late. What's the stadium split going to be like? I would have to think that it tilts in Georgia's favor. Chris Cole talks about the games that he's had the opportunity to play inside MBS and what that atmosphere is like. Roll it, Jared.
What excites you most about playing at the Benz?
Definitely the atmosphere. You know, the Dog fans, I remember playing, my first time playing there was last year versus Clemson. I just remember the Dog fans just being so loud, and it was a great experience. I love playing in the stadium.
Yeah, it's a great stadium to play in if you're Georgia, if the opponent is not Alabama. I mean, I'll just say that right now. You beat Clemson last year. You whooped up on Texas. You took care of Oregon a couple years ago. You beat Auburn for an SEC championship. Of course, you lost in 2019. Sorry, Jake, to LSU and Joe Burrow. But, man, if it ain't Alabama, no sweat going into Mercedes-Benz Stadium for Georgia. This will be the first off-campus meeting between Georgia and Georgia Tech since 1913. Think about
1913?
Yes, the first off-campus meeting between Georgia and Georgia Tech since 1913. But schools got to make money any way they can in this new era of college football. So they're doing what they have to do. Georgia, of course, has won 7 straight, 0-3 against the spread in their last 3 after starting 4-0 against the spread in this 7-game win streak. How about Zachariah Branch?
Hey,
go ahead,
yeah, that was us and our team, you know, that covered the spread there. So
Thank you. Well, you know what? Back in 2009, when Georgia was just a middling SEC team, Georgia Tech was a top 10 team. They were balling. Josh Nesbitt was the quarterback. They had Demarius Bebe Thomas at wide receiver. My boy John Dwyer, who I got to play on the Pittsburgh Steelers with. They were a wagon. We went in there as an unranked team and whooped up on them, baby. That was an all-time game. No team punted in that game back in 2009. How about Zachariah Branch? He's really kind of blossoming into the playmaker for Georgia's offense, a great transfer addition by this coaching staff in the offseason. He got asked a question with one more regular season game coming up this weekend, of course, potentially an SEC championship and then some postseason play. He could break a long-standing Georgia record for most receptions in a season. He didn't even really know about it. Check out this answer. Zach Branch is playing some really good football. He's got a chance to do something special. Go ahead and roll it, Jared.
Zachariah, I don't know how much of a stats guy you are, but you're only like 13 receptions shy of the all-time Georgia single-season record for catches. One, I don't know if you're aware of that or not. And since you're not, what would it mean? I mean, to be able to accomplish something that's been a record for a pretty long time now.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool right there. I didn't even know that I was that far away from any type of records. I don't really look too much at the stats and things like that. The most important thing to me is we getting that W at the end of the day. But that's pretty crazy to think. It's definitely a blessing to know that I'm in that category with a lot of players who've came through this program, a lot of great players, and to know that I'm in the category to be able to, possibly do that is something that is pretty interesting. So that's pretty cool. So it's been sorry about that. It's been a blessing so far just to get a chance to, play with everybody. And, I didn't really have any expectations coming into it. I just wanted to let God guide my journey throughout this whole process, and I'm proud of where I am today.
Zach Branch has to be licking his chops after watching this Georgia Tech defense. And, Jake, I'm really excited to see his speed inside a dome on that field turf. Talk about what it's like to have a playmaker like Zach Branch as a quarterback.
Yeah, man, especially on the turf inside. Mercedes has the fast turf, the offensive turf. It's about scoring and putting up points. You can see all the Bijan highlights that we get from the Falcons game inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Like, that turf plays really fast. It's going to play to Zachy B's skill set and, man, get him the ball. Of course, they'll have a great screening game plan for him to get him the ball early and get him involved. And from that point, it's just get the ball in his hands and let him take care and do the rest. So, what he does is up to him. But, man, Gunner, give him the ball and let him do his thing.
No question. You just talked about points real quick. The total is 59.5 in this game. What are your initial thoughts on the over-under there?
I don't know. I'm thinking over, man. I still
really?
think
that's a lot of points.
I still think it's kind of a shootout, regardless.
Yeah.
Not an 8 overtime shootout, but this is still going to be, I think, a good shootout game.
We're going to get to that in just a second. It should be a great game. You and I will be there on location pre and post game with Atlanta News First inside the stadium. I am fired up. It's going to be awesome. If you see us around, please holler at us. Say what's up. Say welcome in. Give me that.
Doubling down on it.
Please, absolutely. Hey, this episode of Punt and Pass is presented to you by our awesome partners over at PrizePicks. I told you this is the time to be on PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code PUNT when you play your first $5 entry. You get $50 instantly in your account, win or lose. I've got a DB 3-piece right here for you. Are you ready for it, Jake Fromm? It is all about clean, old-fashioned hate. Jared, throw it up on the screen, baby. Here it is. How you can turn $50 into $212. Oh, yeah. I've got it for you right here. We're going Gunner Stockton, more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's going to get that. He didn't have any last week. They played Charlotte. He's due. Tech's defense is garbage. Gunner's finding the end zone through the air a couple of times. Gunner Stockton, more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Haynes King, yes, he will go more than his rushing yard total. 66.5 over at PrizePicks. Just hammer the more than. Just hammer more than 66.5. It might go up. Hit more than. I promise you, if Tech has any chance, Haynes King's going to be running the ball. Haynes King more than 66.5 rushing yards. And Nate Frazier. Nate's going to get his as well. 60.5 rushing yards for Nate Frazier. More than 60.5 rushing yards for Nate Frazier. That is the DB 3-piece for week 13. That is the DB 3-piece for clean, old-fashioned hate over on PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code PUNT. When you play your first $5 entry, you get $50 instantly into your account. Gunner Stockton, more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Haynes King, more than 66.5 rushing yards. And Nate Frazier, more than 60.5 rushing yards. PrizePicks is the best. Thanksgiving is the best time to be on it. Follow us on social media. Follow them on social media at PrizePicks. Download the app. Use the promo code PUNT. First $5 entry. You instantly get $50, win or lose. Football is about game plans, and winning cases is no different. Humberto Injury Law builds a strategy tailored to each client, making sure nothing gets overlooked. Just like breaking down film, they study every angle to give you the best shot at success. Learn more at humbertoinjurylaw.com or call them when you need them. 770-888-8901. 770-888-8901. That's humbertoinjurylaw.com. All right, Jake. Moving away from college football for a couple minutes, we have got to address this story that's happening in real time in the great state of Georgia. The high school football playoffs are going on. Friday night, the quarterfinals of the Georgia high school State playoffs will be happening, and something went down last weekend in Brunswick, Georgia. Class 5A, Gainesville, a powerhouse, a great team, nationally ranked team, was taking care of business. They were up 42-0 against Brunswick High late in the game, and a massive fight broke out. Right around midfield. Two Brunswick defenders looked at two Gainesville offensive players, ripped off their helmets, started throwing punches, benches cleared. It was quite the scene. I mean, it was wild. I'm talking all over the field, guys trucking other kids. It was a full-on attack. And since that happened, Gainesville has had 39 players suspended.
That's crazy.
Gainesville won the game 42-0. The game was called off. Call it off. It's over. Gainesville wins. They're on to the quarterfinals. They're playing Langston Hughes, a really, really good football team on Friday. And now they're going to have to be there without 32, I think. 7 people got their suspensions waived. 32 players suspended. This is insane, Jake. Gainesville appealed. They lost the appeal. Hey, we'll give you 7 players back. Now, reportedly, Gainesville has filed an injunction against the GHSA. It will be heard in an appeals court, Jake. And if it withstands the appeal, they will not have to abide by the suspensions for the remainder of the playoffs. I'm rooting for Gainesville in this instance. If you're watching on YouTube, we're about to play a video of the fight. This aired on Atlanta News First. I'm telling you right now, this is absolutely crazy. We'll dive into it here after this clip. Go ahead, Jared. All right, so you see it here. There's a play running, Jake, on the field. And after the play, this DB from Brunswick slams off the helmet of the Gainesville defender. They're standing there. Now he's the other defender. They kind of stand next to each other. Bam.
Oh, popped him.
Another.
Oh, he got him good.
And then a lineman comes running.
Oh, my goodness.
Yards away, almost decapitates this kid.
Oh,
now
my.
Clear. Now Gainesville's on the field like, what's going on?
No way.
This is a scene. I don't even know where you'd see it. Now they're in the other end zone.
This is crazy.
They're running 65 yards all over the field. An all-out brawl. Coaches on the field. Players on the field. This video, by the way, some interesting commentary. If we weren't dubbed over it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. Can I just say one thing? Where are the officials? I mean, there's no way that this was a lone incident and they didn't expect something like this to happen. The official there at midfield
had to have led to this, right?
The official didn't even do anything at midfield when the kid ripped that dude's helmet off. I don't know, Jake. All I got to say is I am firmly on Gainesville's side. Shame on the GHSA for not having any objectivity when they're making this ruling, because Brunswick's season's done. And, dude, Gainesville is trying to go win a state championship.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, then again, I always saw it one time right there. That's my first and initial reaction. I mean, the Gainesville players, right, the two there at midfield, they kind of get their helmet ripped off and they go hands up. They get popped in the face. And then all of a sudden, the chaos just ensues. Man, never seen anything like this. And you got that big lineman who had 50 yards of steam and just come and absolutely lay somebody out. Holy cow. I mean, now I may ask questions that you don't know the answer to, but
please,
if they're getting this appealed to a judge during Thanksgiving week, I mean,
hopefully he's working tomorrow. We're doing this on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. In my experience, government employees don't really work a whole lot during the holidays. I mean, are they gonna be able to get that done?
So look, here's another thing. There was an appeal initially from Gainesville, the school superintendent, the head coach, some administrators, pleading their case. How on earth can you suspend 39 of our players? We just got attacked. We were up 42-0. The game was almost over. We want to go home and get ready for the next round. Here is head coach Josh Niblett from Gainesville. This was clipped as well during the appeal. I think he makes a resounding case as to what else do you expect from us and our players when we are simply under attack. Again, I side with Gainesville. Roll it, Jared.
Unified team I've coached in a long, long time, and they're brothers. And I'm going to ask you a question. If you got siblings, if you got a wife, you got a husband, and they were on that field and they got their helmet ripped off, and then got jabbed in the face, what would you do? Oh, you might stay on the sideline. Well, let me tell you this. When your brother doesn't have a helmet on and a guy takes a 40-yard sprint and hits him and sideswipes him, you're just going to stand on the sideline? No, you're going to do what's natural. And you're going to protect your brothers. And that's the way I raise these kids, to have each other's back. And that's what I think needs to be known here. The guys that threw punches, hey, they need to be out. They need to be ejected. But the guys that tried to help their brothers, I don't think they should. I do not.
100% agree with head coach Josh Niblett from Gainesville High School. Again, where is the objectivity from the GHSA? Watch the video. There's multiple videos. There's one from like the team cameras up in the stands where you can see the entire field, Jake. And I mean, these kids are getting attacked. He talks about the offensive lineman running 40 yards with a full head of steam. I mean, he could have broke that kid's neck or back. It was a full-on attack. This injunction has to stand. I would just even say, Gainesville, go play the kids. Make the GHSA deal with it after the fact. I have no idea what's going to happen, but this was such a bad situation. Shame on Brunswick. Shame on the officials. Shame on the GHSA for not having objectivity and saying, like, look at the video. We understand what happened. Gainesville, I'm sorry this happened. I mean, Gainesville should be given an apology. I'm sorry that this happened. You guys were up 42-0. Jake, I'm like almost speechless. I give a lot of credit there to head coach Josh Niblett from Gainesville.
Yeah, I don't know. Either play everyone like you suggested and just pretend like, you just didn't get this, disqualification or suspension, that you just didn't even get the suspension, right? Just pretend it didn't happen, or just don't have anybody play and make them make a call. Like, show up to the game and just like, hey, GHSA, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. But this is this is a messed up, tough situation and absolute chaos, man. We don't need this in our sport. What are we doing?
No, we do not. Go Gainesville. That's all I'm saying. I'm now a Gainesville fan. GHSA, be better. I mean, my goodness. And Brunswick. What is that?
Yeah. Let's.
I mean, my goodness.
What are we doing?
Yeah, that is just absolutely crazy. So we will wait to see, and we'll update you next week as to what happens with Gainesville. They play Langston Hughes on Friday night in the quarterfinals of the 5A state playoffs. All right, before we get into the games, look, Lane Kiffin's supposed to make his decision on Saturday real quick. What's he going to do, Jake?
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter, because Kiffin's on Twitter all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Someone had said that Kiffin hadn't tweeted in a long time, and then, that may be
a tell.
Yeah, tell, right? That he's retweeting stuff right now, but he has not tweeted as I'm scrolling. It looks like for the past 3 days ago, hashtag or at legends, him and his family. So I don't know, 3 days, hadn't tweeted. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it'd be like, why put Mississippi fans through this if you're going to do all this to just stay?
Right. Because it's Lane Kiffin. He loves the drama. I think he's staying. I think he's staying at Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is waiting. They'll see what the offers are from LSU and Florida. They'll match it or better it slightly. And
so this is
Lane. If you want to make the move, we don't really understand because we're giving you everything you want.
Well, okay. So this is where I might disagree. I heard this argument, and to be honest with you, I think I really kind of agree with it. At LSU and even at Florida, you can recruit the university and you don't have to necessarily go to the transfer portal year in and year out. Like kind of more like what Georgia and Kirby's doing. You go get your one or two pieces, but you're not completely revamping your roster through the transfer portal year in and year out. Like Kiffin's just 1 year away from missing in the transfer portal.
And it all blows up.
Oh yeah. And then he goes 6-6. Like if he misses on a QB recruit in the portal,
he's toast.
He's done.
Yeah.
Right. And then we're talking about, Kiffin sucks and fire Kiffin and this and that. Right.
Yes.
And then, they were trying to have his head here, but seriously though, I think there's something too about being able to actually recruit kids who want to come, play for you and at your university, and then are going to be there for the long haul. It's just a super huge benefit to have that kind of meat of your roster in that category.
All right. Well, I think he's staying. Where's he going to go? LSU or Florida, if you think he's leaving?
See, I don't know. I would go to Florida, but that's just me.
All right. All right. We will wait and see on Saturday. If the decision comes down on Saturday, they said it's supposed to, so we'll wait and see. Let's get to the games. It's Thanksgiving week. Oh, my goodness. This schedule is so good. Got a little action on Thursday, of course, primarily NFL, but then Friday, it hits you right in the face. A triple header, Egg Bowl, clean old-fashioned hate, Texas A&M. Turnaround on Saturday, you got the Iron Bowl. You got the game. You got Vandy, Tennessee, which I'm highly interested in. There is so much to talk about. Let's start in Atlanta, though. 4th-ranked Georgia taking on 16th-ranked Georgia Tech. 3:30 p.m. kick on Friday. The game's on ABC. Georgia is a 13.5-point favorite. The total is 59.5. And Jake, since 2001, Georgia Tech is 3-20 versus Georgia. They've lost 7 straight to the Dogs. It's unbelievable. This could be the year. People thought it was the year that they would be able to knock off the mighty Georgia Bulldogs. However, the Dogs have been playing some great football against some top-ranked opponents. Georgia Tech is reeling. They had everything on the line last week with an ACC title game berth looming, and they fell flat on their face. Now they got to pick up the pieces and take on Georgia. It's Haynes King versus Gunner Stockton. I think it's going to be a tough game. I do, Jake. I think it's going to be back and forth. I would expect Tech to start early. I bet you Buster Faulkner dials up some stuff. Haynes King will get going. It'll be a 4-quarter game. I have no doubt about that. What do you think?
I think it'll be a 3-quarter game. I think I really expect Georgia to start off fast. The guys are very well rested. They only played a half of football last week. Tech played into the night. They had a live scrimmage during the week. They battled, all game against Pittsburgh. Georgia is in a very good spot right now with their roster, with where they are peaking at in the season.
Yeah.
Man, they're working their way up. They're kind of firing all cylinders here. This is going to be the last little statement piece to cap off their season, throw it to the playoff selection committee and be like, hey, yeah, we're for real, and we're going to go try to win this thing here. I think Gunner has a great game. Obviously, he was due from last week, man.
Yeah.
No touchdowns at all to speak of. That's something we hadn't seen from Gunner all year. Gunner has a big game. I just think Tech runs out of gas. I think they come in hot and throw a few haymakers early because it's emotional for them, but I just think they run out of gas in the third quarter. And just like Georgia has done almost virtually every week versus a decent or better opponent, is they just pull away in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. They just do it a little bit earlier in this game in the third.
All right. I actually like that as well. I mean, I could see Tech hanging around early in the fourth quarter and then Georgia taking over. Hold on to the football. Don't allow any crazy special teams plays. Like, this is the blueprint in games like this that are highly emotional. Do not give Georgia Tech any opportunities to grab some momentum and then ride that wave, because that is how it can become a late fourth quarter game. The odds makers are telling you that it shouldn't be close. Georgia is a big favorite, 13.5 points. That total, though, man, it seems high to me. I see like a 35-20 type game. I think Georgia wins 35-20, maybe even 38-20, which still comes in under the total. But I think Tech can be held on offense. Yes, Haynes King will get his, but Georgia will adjust. They'll make the necessary adjustments. And I'm going with Georgia 38, Tech 20.
Yeah, see, I like 38-24.
Gotcha.
Georgia covers, and I get the over.
Wow.
Write it down.
Right. There you go. Hey, the game before that's the Egg Bowl, 6th-ranked Ole Miss at Mississippi State. It's at noon on ABC. Ole Miss is a 7.5-point favorite. The total here is 62.5.
Yeah, I see. It's just, man, Vegas and their spreads, right? You'd have thought these spreads would have been flip-flop the exact opposite, right? Ole Miss being a 13.5-point favorite over Mississippi State and Georgia being a 7.5-point favorite over Tech. That's just not the way it is, man. Give me Ole Miss in this one. I mean, with all the distractions they have going on with Lane, I just think there's just so much ahead of them. And They need to get in this playoff and make a run at it. I want to see Lane Kiffin in the playoffs. Will he coach in the playoffs? I have no idea, depending on what he does. Ole Miss is a better football team. Mississippi State's kind of had their time and thrown their haymakers against some good teams. But when they played Georgia a couple weeks ago, it wasn't there. And I expect Ole Miss to do the same.
I think Mississippi State's going to keep this one close at home, a highly, highly emotional game as well. Early kick. Give me those 7.5 points. I think they score some points. Too many distractions for Ole Miss. Just too many distractions for the Rebels. It'll be a close game. Ole Miss by a field goal is my call. All right, the matinee. No, not the matinee. Excuse me, the late game on Friday. 3rd-ranked Texas A&M at 17th-ranked Texas. 7:30 p.m. kick on ABC. A&M is a 2.5-point road favorite.
Wow.
The total here is 51. Give me 2.5 points with Texas. I think they're going to find ways to score. Yeah, they're watching that South Carolina tape as well. A&M's got a ton of talent. Marcel Reed's a baller. I don't know who's going to win this game. A&M kicks a late field goal and wins by 2, and Texas covers by a hook. That's something that I have thought about.
I mean, this is going to cause chaos for the selection committee. It's going to cause chaos with the SEC championship game. I mean, if Texas beats A&M, I mean, Texas is starting to make an argument, that
I know.
Can they get in there and into the playoffs? So, man, this is a lot, but I think Texas has a very good opportunity to win this game. I am on your side here in this. I think I'm going to go with Texas here, man. Even if it's 2.5 points, I don't care. Give me the under in this one. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points being scored. I think this is going to be a very physical and gritty football game. I think this is going to be Arch's game to really blossom and come out and deal the football. The only thing I am worried about is this matchup between A&M's defensive front and Texas's offensive line. I just think Texas struggles protecting their best asset in their quarterback, but nonetheless, give me Texas.
All right, rapid fire on these last ones. 10th-ranked Alabama at Auburn, 7:30 p.m. Saturday night on ABC. Alabama, a 6.5-point favorite. What happens?
Hey, Deuce Knight, he's a good quarterback, and he scored a ton of touchdowns last week. It's a great coming-out party for him, but it was against Mercer. Alabama's coming to town. Give me Bama.
All right, Vanderbilt at Tennessee, 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Tennessee, a 3.5-point favorite. Can Diego Pavia make some noise?
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt does what Vanderbilt does. I think they're just going to fall short and flat on their face. Give me Tennessee in this one, man. I like Tennessee's statement win over Florida last week, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think they are a better football team.
I like Tennessee in that game as well. Lastly, the game, number 1 Ohio State at 18th-ranked Michigan, noon on Saturday on Fox. Ohio State, a 9.5-point favorite. Give me the 9.5 points. They got to prove they could beat Michigan, and quite frankly, they've lost 4 straight. I'll take Michigan.
Wow. I don't think this one's going to be close. Give me Ohio State, man.
All
right. I don't think it's close. They just have a way, way better roster. Roster.
All right. Well, it's going to be an awesome Thanksgiving week. Thanks so much for tuning in to Punt and Pass. Have a great Thanksgiving with you and your family, friends, food, football, all the good stuff. Appreciate you listening to Punt and Pass. This episode of Punt and Pass has been brought to you by our awesome partners over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code PUNT. Your first $5 entry gets you $50 instantly into your account, win or lose. Follow them at PrizePicks on social media. And remember, this episode has been brought to you by Humberto Injury Law. They're your first call when accidents happen. Don't wait. Visit HumbertoInjuryLaw.com today. Humberto Injury Law, protecting people, fighting for justice, winning results. Follow us on social media at Punt and Pass, at Drew Butler, at From Jake. Jake, anything on the way out?
Yeah, man, I'm about to absolutely tear up some sweet potato souffle on Thursday. It's going to be great. So if I look a little pudgy on Friday when you see me for the game, you know why.
No judgment zone on Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you on Monday. See ya.
We out.